Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us on Daybreak Plus here on KVUE Plus, streaming free on your TV. I hope you're enjoying your breakfast, maybe some eggs or something. A nice warm meal sounds nice.
Is it weird that I still want?
I had a banana. Womp womp.
Sounds so nice.
That's right. Yes, we've got our banana, like your little granola bar that we're picking
I'm still daydreaming about the chicken wings after that story we had earlier.
Yes, today is National what?
Chicken wing day, right? Yep. Lots of deals going on.
A lot of deals and steals. You get those hot wings, and not a great day for hot wings, though. I mean, we're talking about heat in the forecast. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Unless if you really like to sweat while you're dealing with the heat. Yeah, I don't know. Meat sweats, right?
The meat sweats. I've heard that. Yeah, I can't have the meat sweats.
The chicken. Well, maybe just take them in the air conditioning. It wouldn't be bad. Temperatures out the door. We got low to middle 70s. Maybe the iced coffee for today because we are heading into the triple digits. The good news is we are going to see more of a dry heat today. In fact, I think we're going to be experiencing some of the driest air we've had in a while. Dew points are going to be getting back down to the 50s by this afternoon, which is pretty comfortable for this time of year. We're out the door. We're currently dry. High pressure is going to start to build from east to west. This has been essentially stationed to the east of us for the past couple days, but as this continues to build eventually right over central Texas today and tomorrow, that's what is going to lead to the heat, but it's also going to lead to that sinking motion of air, and what we will see today is basically a cloud-free sky. One of those skies is just wall-to-wall blue across the area. Plenty of sunshine with that drier air starting to settle in by this afternoon. Dew points currently in the lower 70s, but look at how these drop throughout the day. Humidity will be lowering, and we're talking about, again, those dew points in the 50s, very comfortable, just in time for the peak daytime heating. So a dry heat on the way today, 100 degrees. I don't think it's going to be feeling that bad because when you think about it, we've had heat index values for the past several days that have been over 100 degrees. So while we do have the heat as far as our air temperatures go, not so much the humidity. Those winds today will be out of the southwest to southeast at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. An even hotter day anticipated for your Wednesday. I'll show you just how hot we get coming up.
Tons of sun. Thank you so very much, Casey. Your time now is 7:04. On this Tuesday morning, we are taking a live look out in Cedar Park. We're nice and sleepy right now on 183 out near Lakeline Mall. But I did want to share a note with you. The Cedar Park Police Department put out that in the last week, they have arrested 12 people for drinking and driving. And some of those folks were actually 3 times the legal limit. So a friendly summer reminder, please make sure you are finding a safe way to get home. And as a community, we can all work together to keep everyone safe on our roadways. So wanted to share that note with you. Looking quiet for Cedar Park travel right now. Seeing some minor slowdowns coming in from South Austin. We had a stalled vehicle there a little bit earlier. That is cleared out. But we do still have a crash right outside of the Tesla Gigafactory, and that is impacting the turning lane, blocked because of it at FM 973 eastbound at Tesla Road. Pretty quiet though right now, coming and going on Bastrop Highway. If you have an early morning flight, looking much better through Antopolis than it was yesterday, and that's as far as the roads are concerned. Can't attest to what's going on inside, but you know, it just stays busy there these days. Manor, we had a crash earlier on 290. That's cleared out, but we're still down to 40 miles per hour in the westbound lanes if you're coming to visit us here in Austin.
Well, Georgetown Parks and Recreation, along with volunteers, will help reopen San Gabriel Park in just a couple of hours. Registered volunteers will begin cleaning up debris left over from the July 5th floods. KVUE's Michael Courier is live in San Gabriel Park this morning. So, Michael, first, how does it look out there? And then also, what can we expect today and this week?
Yvonne, good morning. There certainly is a lot of work to be done here. There's a lot of debris, and you can see that this orange barricade is seen all throughout San Gabriel Park. You can see the sign, park and trail is closed. And then also over to my left here, we are seeing a light pole completely detached along with a sign there. And this, we're seeing a lot of dirt and sand seen all throughout as the river really came through here and impacted this park. Now, we do know that around 9 a.m. this morning, in a few hours, this is where hundreds of registered volunteers will be making their way. Earlier, city staff and contractors have been working on clearing areas along the river. Today is that first day that they are welcoming volunteers to help them. So again, the first cleanup event starts at 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. today, while the second event is this Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m. Volunteers will help clear the sand and debris from pavilions, empty trash cans, and clean benches. Chris Drake, who is a frequent visitor to San Gabriel Park, says the park feels completely different after the flood.
So when we showed up, we noticed all the barriers, and we were kind of sad because we have been to this park several times before, and just seeing how completely different it is and not being able to take the kids to go play on the playgrounds kind of limits your fun you can have here.
Now, if you want to help out but can't make it out, the Friends of Georgetown Parks and Recreation are accepting donations to help with flood recovery. The foundation will match up to $25,000. Now, you can help, but it is very important to stress that you do have to register online if you want to make it out this morning and for Thursday's event as well, which is taking place in the afternoon. There's a lot of work to be done. Again, there's a lot of debris that is scattered throughout. I'm sure the Georgetown community will certainly welcome all the volunteers that are coming to reopen their park that they love so much. And actually, just about a few minutes ago, just down the river, I spoke to a separate crew that is not a part of this cleanup event, but they're actually launching their boat on the river and they're heading down to Blue Hole Park. They said that is another park that needs a lot of cleaning up, and they're saying that that's just about a mile away from here. So all along the San Gabriel River, that's where there's a lot of debris and there's a lot of volunteers that are helping out. For now, reporting from San Gabriel Park, Michael Courier, KVUE News.
Michael, isn't it nice to see so many people just reaching in and saying, I'll help out, I'll pitch in. I mean, you see it all around, right?
It is absolutely phenomenal, and we've been seeing trucks really make their way here to the park, and I can see cases of water that they have and snacks and anything that the volunteers need, because it's going to get hot out. So there's a lot of work to be done, but they certainly will take care of all of those volunteers, as there's a lot of work to be done. All
right, thank you so much. Well, Burnett County is lowering flags to half-staff today to honor a missing volunteer fire chief from Marble Falls. The search continues for Chief Michael Phillips, and he disappeared on July 5th while responding to flooding. Burnett County says Texas Task Force 2 was deployed near Cow Creek to assist with the ongoing search on Monday. Phillips was last seen in that area driving an emergency vehicle during a rescue operation. The vehicle was later located, but Phillips was not found with it. Interim Fire Chief Thomas Jacobs says Phillips worked in the department for more than 20 years and has always been hands-on.
Chief fought the hardest and went the furthest. He don't want us to find him. He went out doing what he loved, honestly.
Well, today there is a memorial service for Chief Phillips at 3 p.m. at Marble Falls High School. And the flooding in the Hill Country and Central Texas has state lawmakers taking a closer look at how they can improve disaster preparedness. On Thursday, a Senate committee will meet in Kerrville. They're going to hear from local officials about the response to the catastrophic flooding, meteorological data, and post-disaster mental health resources as well. Emergency alerts are at the center of conversations about the Hill Country floods, and in Travis County, officials are testing out a new pilot program to make these alerts better. It's called Community Connectors. KVUE's Allison Martinez is in studio to explain just how it works. Fill us in.
Yeah, some people struggle getting emergency alerts set up on their phone in the first place, and others are just overwhelmed by the amount of them. Travis County recognizes this and is working to do something about it. It's working with a company called Fuse to help members of the community hear from Travis County through people that they trust. These people are called Community Connectors.
They might also be people that have lived in the community for a long time, that work at the school district, or that manage a neighborhood group and just happen to, for whatever reason, know a lot of their community members.
In the event of extreme weather, for example, these community connectors would relay the same warnings the county typically sends out through text or social media. The difference is community connectors would reach you wherever you are. That could mean knocking on your door, posting in a neighborhood group, or making an announcement on the Nextdoor app. Right now, this is just a pilot program, but it could become permanent and countywide very soon. We'll be keeping an eye on that. In the studio, Allison Martinez, KVUE News.
It's very interesting because there are people in your neighborhood, they're the ones that, they're the little bees. They always know what's going on. So those are the people we can rely on, as well as, have you ever been to the Nextdoor app? Mm-hmm. That one, everything that's going on there. That could be utilized as well.
Yeah, definitely using the superpowers of those people who just kind of have an eye on everything or are in the know.
They're a lot in the know. Yeah. Thank you, Allison. Taking a live look at the state capitol this morning. In just a few hours, state lawmakers will take more virtual feedback from people over redrawing congressional maps in Texas as you're looking at the state capitol here from a distance. Speaker sign-up has closed for today's 9 a.m. meeting, and the hearing is hosted by the same Senate committee that heard from more than 100 people yesterday. Earlier this month, the U.S. Department of Justice raised concerns about the current map, saying 4 majority-minority districts were drawn based on race. But the state has defended the current map in court, saying it was drawn fairly.
Not to mention, this redistricting effort is incredibly rushed. How do we know that these maps have been reviewed properly to ensure they're legal and fair if the legislature is not taking time to do so?
The chairman, Republican Senator Phil King, promised to share new maps with committee members once he sees them. And lawmakers in the Texas House are working on hemp legislation that would ban products that contain THC, the chemical that can get you high. House Bill 5 mirrors Senate Bill 5. It would almost completely ban consumable hemp products with THC, except for CBD and CBG. The bill also calls for stricter rules on labeling and packaging. Governor Greg Abbott has made it clear he wants lawmakers to focus on hemp regulation during this session. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but next, not everyone's on board with a new convention center near Coda. Why some Austinites are fighting to put the brakes on the plan. And then a little later, giving names back to the nameless. National nonprofit with local volunteers working to identify unknown victims and solve cold cases. And now their work is gaining national attention. You can see it this weekend. I'll give you all the details.
Welcome back this Tuesday morning. Your time now is 7:16. Austin leaders struck a deal to build a new hotel and convention center right next to Circuit of the Americas in the Del Valle area. But some people who live nearby say other problems in the area should be addressed first. Last week, we told you about Austin City Council taking over 21 acres near Coda to build a new hotel and convention center to boost tourism and revenue. Well, city leaders say it won't cost taxpayers or affect the downtown redevelopment, but some residents like Joe Sayer argue the area needs grocery stores, not hotels. Mayor Pro Tem Vanessa Fuentes says long-term plans could address both.
But I think they need to give a better explanation of what they're going to do with these other issues in this area. Is this going to become the city of Austin? Is this going to be left like it is?
Mayor Pro Tem Vanessa Fuentes says council will address that after the hotel is done. The next step in the development process is an amendment to review the layout, job opportunities, and more. Check this out. I just love raccoons and I think they're cute, and you know, sometimes they just need help when they get stuck while they're bopping around. Oh, sweet little thing. He just got lodged right in there. And this is in the Beaumont area. This little raccoon got stuck at the bottom of a dumpster, but with careful hands and the help of some power tools, the resourceful maintenance staff was able to free the sweet little raccoon. And sometimes these little critters just need a little bit of patience, and yeah, you know, sometimes they just like to dig through your trash. And I might be weird, but I think they're cute, and I also think that possums are cute, but I know that might be controversial. But my favorite things about raccoons, in case everyone was wondering, is their little hands, and I'm talking to myself now. So, yay, raccoons. Okay, let's go ahead and just toss it over to weather now. Oh, hi, Casey. Oh wait, no, is it my turn again? Okay, so here we go. Did you know that raccoons exhibit washing behavior when they eat? Raccoons, they're famous for dipping the food in the water, which I've seen them do personally, and it's kind of cute. They just like to clean their little hands while they are eating. And now I'm gonna go ahead and toss it right over to weather.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we've got a 100-degree day in store for us where we will be looking at what's going to be plenty of sunshine today and high pressure. That's going to be the main story here as we take a look at what's going to be just a very hot forecast. High pressure building across now parts of Texas will lead to what will be a hot day, but a drier day of heat. We continue with what's going to be some lower humidity, at least, as we head into the next several days here. So it's going to be what's just going to be a day featuring near triple-digit temperatures. There's Hannah, by the way, in the background, preparing for traffic. We've got 80 degrees out towards Atlanta, 81 for New Orleans right now. That heat is building with those heat alerts in effect for a really good chunk of the country here, where we've got heat advisories out through north parts of Texas. Humidity forecast, notice we see that drop in humidity today and tomorrow. That is what's going to lead to this nice dry heat, but it is going to be hot. 100 degrees is what we should be reaching in the Austin area tonight with that drier air. It should be a little bit refreshing wake camp tomorrow morning out across the hill country, some 60s, and then tomorrow afternoon we're talking about 101 degrees. So tomorrow likely featuring the peak of the heat here as we head into what will be at least the next couple days. Now after that, while we say goodbye to the triple-digit high temperatures for those air temperatures, we will keep with those for our heat index. The humidity is going to start to bump up beginning Thursday into Friday and also for the weekend. Those showers and storms making a comeback as humidity will be back on the rise for the upcoming weekend. So 70 forecasts, we're dry, we're hot Tuesday and also Wednesday. Thursday, we'll start to see a chance for some showers and storms by the late afternoon. And then as we enter Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, some isolated to spotty showers and storms anticipated with highs back down into the middle 90s.
Oh, don't you just love live TV? Okay, we're getting this train back on the tracks here. It is 7:20. Let's take a live look at your current driving conditions. Looking a lot better out there, but I'll tell you what, we got some debris kind of popping up here and there. But as far as crashes are concerned, just about everything I was tracking is cleared out. Seeing our typical slowdowns coming in from South Austin and those northbound lanes, looking great in the southbound lanes. If you're heading out towards Buda, Kyle, or San Marcos today, looks like we've got an object in the road near the South Congress area, but we can certainly work with that compared to, you know, some of the crashes we were looking at. If you're heading out for work at the Tesla Gigafactory, they hauled off that vehicle right off of Tesla and FM 973, so looking better there. Seeing some slowdowns, though, coming in from Garfield, heading towards the Del Valley area out near the airport, but not too bad if you have an early morning flight. Minor slowdowns in the northbound lanes right now on 183 through Mentopolis, and then coming in from Mustang Ridge, some slowdowns there, but no active crashes for either stretch. Manor, 38 miles per hour right now, and I hope y'all are having a great morning. We are going to do a quick little cut-in, and we will be right back here to talk more about raccoons, and I'll walk in the wrong camera and all that good stuff. Good Tuesday morning, Central Texas. How we doing, y'all? We are heading out to start the workday right now. Here's a live look in Cedar Park. Looking really sleepy right now, 183 at Lakeline Mall. But I will tell you what, the Cedar Park Police Department put out yesterday, they have had an uptick in drinking and driving. In the last week, they've arrested at least 12 people for drinking and driving. So just something to be aware of. Let's all stay safe this summer. Right now, got a little bit of debris popping up here and there, but some of the crashes I was tracking have all cleared out, including one right outside of the Tesla Gigafactory, looking a lot better through Del Valley. We are seeing our typical slowdowns, though, moving through Onion Creek, and then it stops right about when you get to William Cannon. And it looks like we've got an object in the road on South Congress, and a new incident looks like it just popped up here in North Austin. So I'll look into that. In the meantime, let's send it over for our weather. It's going to be hot out there today.
It is going to be hot, but a drier heat force settling in. A look outside right now. We're looking at just some high clouds pushing through the area. 72 degrees out at the airport, 75 for Camp Mabry. A seasonable start to this Tuesday, late July day. High pressure is going to be building in from the east, and this is what's going to be bringing us a warm up for today. However, look at how this humidity drops. Dew points in the 50s by this afternoon will make it feel more comfortable, but it's also going to be easier to heat things up. We'll be topping off near 100 degrees today. Sunny sky. Eventually, you'll be looking at cloud-free sky by this afternoon, and that's what should allow for things to warm up pretty quickly for today. Wednesday, 101 degrees. We'll be looking at the peak of the heat for tomorrow. Another day of drier heat, though, before we start to see those rain chances increase as we head into Thursday, Friday, and for the weekend. Some spotty showers and storms return with those highs that'll be back down into middle number 90s. That's your forecast. Have a great Tuesday.
Welcome back. In the world of crime solving, DNA technology is no longer just cutting edge. It's front and center. And the DNA Doe Project is a nonprofit organization where volunteers help identify unknown persons using investigative genetic genealogy. One local volunteer's work is getting national attention in a new docuseries coming out this weekend in only a matter of days. Here's your KVUE Crime Files. It's happening. It's coming out. What are your thoughts?
I'm excited and a little terrified, if I must admit.
Rhonda Kevorkian is used to working behind the scenes, but her latest cold case, which dates back to 1985, has her stepping into the spotlight. After 4 decades,
40 years.
She finally helped Cindy Gina Crow get her name back.
She was recovered off the side of I-20 in Tyler, Texas. She was kind of in a gully, so I think previous mowing crews just kind of mowed over her remains. One of them noticed a skull, and that's when they found her. And they found her remains and then a pile of clothes near her remains.
As one of 5 local volunteers with nonprofit DNA Doe Project,
So we have volunteers in the UK, in Canada, in Australia, Chile. For female inheritance, you get an X from each parent.
Rhonda works to identify John and Jane Does using DNA and family trees.
We look at the match list and we start building the trees of the relatives and see where they connect. And then we start building forward in time from those connections.
We call her Tyler Jane Doe.
Her work on this Tyler case, as well as others, will be featured in a new 6-part docuseries called Naming the Dead. Each episode follows a case from start to finish.
I'd love for you all to watch it, and they go into a lot more detail about the techniques that they use to extract DNA.
And the emotional journeys of all the people it takes to solve these mysteries. In the case of Cindy Gina Crow, Texas officer David Turner worked the scene back in 1985 and spent his entire career trying to solve it. He's the one who reached out to DNA Doe Project for help.
The detective on this case just never gave up on her the whole time. He was so dedicated to getting her case resolved.
The DNA Doe Project presented him with this commemorative coin as a thank you for never giving up.
Thank goodness for the DNA Doe Project. I keep on saying, I can't thank them enough.
He did not want to retire until this case was solved.
You can see in his face and in his voice, you could hear it, like how relieved he was that this case was finally solved. They worked together on it. Again, the docuseries is called Naming the Dead. It premieres this Saturday, August 2nd at 10 p.m. on the National Geographic Channel, and then August 3rd on Disney Plus and Hulu.
This is such an important story for so many reasons, and it just kind of blows my mind that Gina was there along I-20 this whole time. She was right there.
So remember the part of they mowed over her skull. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know what happened or what might have transpired, but finally they saw the remains and then they were able to get the DNA later.
I know it is hard and it's kind of circumstantial with different departments with shortages and things like that, but as far as the resources go, I know you've talked a lot about sometimes the lack of funding. Can you explain sometimes why that can be an issue?
Yes, the reason why this detective reached out to the DNA Doe Project is because, again, an extra set of eyes, hands, but funding is always an issue when it comes with law enforcement. I mean, their funding is not, it's finite, it's not infinite, right? So funding is an issue, but the DNA Doe Project, they rely on donations. So the investigators, they offer the genetic genealogy pro bono. However, the lab work can be so expensive. Just for one case alone, let's say like a Jane Doe, that can cost upwards of $8,000. So it can be so expensive. However, we can help out. We can go to the DNA Doe Project site and you can donate to the general fund, or you can even donate to a specific case. I find it so interesting because they have all the cases on their site and you can say like, oh, I knew about this one. I want to, donate to this one and chip in. And you can chip in however you want. The link to their website is on our website, KVUE.com. But I just find it so interesting that I think maybe some lab, or rather some law enforcement officers. They know about the DNA Doe project, but I don't think they all do.
Right.
And together, can't they just work and just solve these cases one by one, you know?
Exactly. And that gentleman, like you said, you saw that relief there, and there's a lot of pressure that's put on them too. And I'm sure it's hard to sleep at night when you've got that pending cold case on your back and, you know, a little help. And that's why this, I think, story is very important. And I'm excited for the special this weekend.
Yes, in the docuseries, she couldn't tell me everything. She was like teasing me, you know, Rhonda Kevorkian, but she said in the docuseries she'll be able to speak with Gina Crow's family, and she said that's very, very emotional because it's been 40 years, and so there's just so much that we get to see in this docuseries. And again, it's going to be National Geographic and then Hulu and Disney Plus.
Oh, you got it all down.
Yeah,
well, thank you so much for sharing that with us today. And another local story, Austin police are set to welcome a new four-legged member to the force, but it's not your typical canine. Austin police is adding this robot dog named Spot to help with its operations unit during SWAT calls and hazmat situations. So last Thursday, City Council approved a $300,000 contract with Boston Dynamics. APD says a $250,000 Homeland Security grant is covering most of the cost. The unit has used bulky military-style track robots for years, but Spot is more mobile and better for tight spaces.
So it's going to really decrease the amount of time, which improves officer safety, community safety, and obviously safety for the suspect.
And as Spot operates, APD says it'll send video to a controller, but that footage will be deleted immediately unless it's needed as evidence. If it is kept, it would follow the department's existing retention policy, very similar to body cam footage, which is saved for at least 181 days.
Well, right now, many Texas animal shelters are overcrowded, forced to make tough decisions about the future of some pets. But one city may have just found a solution. How they teamed up with a local cafe to make sure no lost pet stays missing. Here's WFAA's Sean Giggy.
Winslow's Cafe serves hungry Fort Worth diners, just so it can cater to their companions.
I only own a restaurant to get money to give to the dogs, so.
Joe Barry is the owner. Winslow was his dog, but Joe's canine compassion knows no end, which is why Fort Worth Animal Care and Control recently approached him with an idea.
Right when they said it, we said we're in.
And that's how Winslow's became Fort Worth's first chip spot.
It's a spot where you can come, bring a lost animal, and try to help it get back home.
Brenda Matuti works for the city and said anyone who finds a lost pet, either dog or cat, can bring it to Winslow's, where a staff member will scan for a chip, scan a code, thus alerting the owner their pet has been found.
Come here and save a dog at 10 at night, 11 at night. As long as we're open, you can come bring your dog here to find out if it can be scanned.
It helps ease the burden of finding a shelter or vet, especially when they may be closed or far away. But more importantly, it saves lives.
If we're able to keep a pet out of the shelter, that means there's more space for an animal who actually is a stray, who actually needs to come to the shelter.
Fewer animals means fewer deaths, which is why the city hopes to expand the program by partnering with other local businesses.
Ultimately, it comes down to saving more lives, and that's why we wanted to create this chip spot.
Here at Winslow's, food and drink is the specialty, but saving lives is a real treat. In Fort Worth, I'm Sean Giggy.
Alrighty, here we go into Tuesday, and here we go back into triple-digit heat. Yes, it is making a quick return for today after we hit 100 degrees last week for the first time since May. We will see the return of more of those numbers reaching to and above 100 degrees, at least for the next couple days. Yesterday, we had a high of 97 degrees. That is still below our average of 98 degrees for this time of year. Today, though, even hotter as we start to see high pressure build overhead. Lower 70s out across the hill country, middle 70s up and down the I-35 corridor, the coastal plains right now. You're sitting at 74 degrees for Lockhart, to Bastrop, and LaGrange right now. We're currently off to a nice start. Sunny sky will continue all day long. It's going to be nearly a cloud-free sky as we head into this afternoon, with plenty of sunshine helping things warm to around 100 degrees today. What we will see, though, is more of a drier heat, so that's going to be an improvement. We've had heat index values that have been up to and over 100 degrees for the past several days thanks to the high humidity. But starting today, look at how these dew points drop into the 50s. That's comfortable air. That's the driest air we have felt in quite some time. Of course, the drier air, though, is also easier to heat up. So 100 degrees is where we should be hitting it today. Sunny and hot. That dry heat, it'll stick around through tomorrow, where we should be reaching the peak out of the heat. Now, that quickly changes as we head into the start of August and the weekend ahead. I am tracking the return of some weekend rain chances. I'll be breaking those down coming up in a bit and show you just how hot we're expected to get coming up for tomorrow, right after we take a quick look at your morning commute, though, with Hannah.
Ooh, let's do it. We got some things cooking up here, and I'm going to get my camera situated here. Okay, so we have a new crash in the North Shoal Creek area, actually right in our neighborhood here, heading northbound towards the Domain. So we're seeing slowdowns there, and then we are also seeing slowdowns in the southbound lane. So if you are coming in from North Austin, kind of starts at that Palmer area and then starts to clear up just south of 183. And then I also want to head over here to Walnut Forest. We are still seeing a little bit of stop and go in those southbound lanes on I-35 as well. And this is at Breaker, one lane blocked, but as we know for that stretch, it does not take much to really slow things down. Let's take a look across the rest of the area. Pretty quiet aside from kind of those two crashes we're monitoring. But as you can see, we still definitely have area-wide slowdowns. So coming in from Round Rock today, we are at 34 miles per hour. And then if you are getting on Oak Hill, we've got 33 miles per hour. So a little bit of that stop and go coming and going from the Dripping Springs area. And then of course, Oak Hill, oh my gosh, that construction has just been ramping up out there, that Oak Hill Parkway project. But Yvonne, what I love is they're really good about getting those updates out on X and social media. And I think it helps people knowing there's progress being made, although it just feels like it never ends, the construction, you know.
Seriously, it never ends. But you also mentioned Cedar Park. I like that you added that information about Cedar Park Police. What were they saying?
So they said they have actually arrested 12 people just in the last week for drinking and driving. So definitely, you know, just kind of a PSA. I know in the summertime that tends to ramp up, but it is kind of concerning. That's a lot of people.
That is. In the last how long?
In the last week.
Last week?
Yeah, and they said several of them were 3 times the legal limit. So
that's not good.
Want to get the messaging out.
There's
a ride.
So many ways to get rides these days.
We have a new rideshare company every week.
Every week, it seems.
It's crazy.
All right, well, we could not get away from Chapel Roan's Hot to Go last year, and even now, still, thanks to those Target commercials.
Now, a young boy from Cincinnati is riding the crest of Chapel's hit, creating some waves of his own, and in doing so, making the summer of 2025 now Hot Dog Harv Summer. Here is ABC's Danny New.
If 2024 at the summer of Grammy winner Chapel Roan telling us she's hot to go, then 2025 summer is taking us from craze to crave, thanks to the 10-year-old who goes by Hot Dog Harv.
I was like, they love this thing.
Since performing his parody of the Chapel Roan hit at his elementary school's talent show in Cincinnati, Harvey hopes his hot dog anthem has been picking up millions of views on social media. Just eat it! Inspired by his hero, Weird Al Yankovic, Harvey says he initially got the idea after hearing his sister play Hot to Go all the time. As his dad recalls,
him and his mom would listen to the song and he came up with words.
Soon professional sports teams started inviting Harvey to come perform. For example, the Cleveland Guardians happened to hold a hot dog mascot race at their home games. So of course they were legally bound to have Harvey come sing at Progressive Field. And when the world's most entertaining baseball team, the Savannah Bananas, came backflipping into Cincy, they knew which crooning coney to call. Harvey says he's next planning to parody Chapel Roan's mega hit Pink Pony Club with a reference to the signature hot dogs at Cincinnati's famed Skyline Chili.
Cheese Coney Club.
Yes, the Cheese Coney Club. I'm gonna keep on
eating, probably.
Eating at the Cheese Coney Club.
The Coney was, of course, popularized by Nathan's famous New York's Coney Island. And in fact, Nathan's official account commented on Harvey's video asking if they should make his anthem their new theme song. I, of course, vote yes, please. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
He has so much personality, that kid.
Seriously.
It's so great to be standing up in front of the huge crowds in the ballparks. And you just
Getting over the stage fright, that's half the battle.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
people, that's amazing.
Lots of confidence.
Also, did y'all see that hot dog at the Cincinnati? It was like shredded cheese instead of the, I was kind of intrigued by that.
So from what?
Cincinnati dog?
A friend of mine's a really good chef, and she says a lot of times, you buy the shredded cheese, right? And then you melt it on stuff. Apparently it melts better if you shred it yourself, like you buy the block, you shred it yourself, you use that for like enchiladas, all that, it melts better.
Oh, that's important information.
So that's your PSA for the day.
Yeah. We were already having some really good cheese talks earlier about some little tostada
Tostadas with
concoction
cheese.
you were making.
I was telling her all about it. She was like,
I'll tell you exactly where to go in HEB.
I was like, I know exactly where to go, where to HEB.
We love our little snacks, man. It's crazy.
Speaking of snacks, do y'all like donuts?
Yes.
Donuts, yes, okay. A beloved Texas donut shop has a new owner. Is your favorite glazed icon about to get a makeover?
And a scare on the practice field for Cowboys fans. The big man went down and the bullet the team just dodged. Welcome back this Tuesday morning. Your time now 7:45. It was a tense moment during yesterday Cowboys training camp involving a local guy, a Manor High School grad, Tyler Guyton. The second year starting offensive lineman left practice early with a leg injury, and it looked pretty serious. Guyton fell to the ground following a play, but thank goodness he was able to walk off the field with a little bit of help there. But, at first glance, Cowboys fans feared that it might have been that ACL tear, which is extensive, a long recovery process. But after more tests, officials say it was not an ACL injury, but it was a bone fracture. The team now expects Tyler to heal without surgery, which is good, but he can't return to the field in 4 to 6 weeks. So the Cowboys open season 5.5 weeks at Philly. But training camp continues for America's team out in Oxnard, California. Tomorrow night at 9:30, you can catch the training camp takeover with daily breakdowns and in-depth analysis. It's streaming only on KVUE Plus. You can download it on your TV and watch for free. And 9:30 p.m. is late, but I think some people do stay up late, right?
Yeah, some people are normal. Yeah,
right. Some
we're
people
not.
don't have to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I just saw the funniest meme right now. It said, "Oh man, this week has drained me," and they were like, "It's only Tuesday."
That life now, I know, right? I feel like
this week has been exhausting.
Well, even you said yesterday, it's like we just kind of count down to the weekend and we look for that weekend forecast.
Tuesdays are like the hardest day to get.
Yeah.
It's like Monday, you're like, okay, coming off the weekend. I feel like we have this debate a lot.
We
Tuesday,
do.
you're kind of like, you're not
Tuesdays.
quite halfway through the work week yet. So you're still in the beginning.
Yeah.
So you have a long way to go. But
Just
you've
on the
already done
incline.
Monday.
It seems so far away.
Still way down the road. You know what? But what we are going to be dealing with that's not way down the road is the return return of triple-digit temperatures. Yes, those make another comeback today. We thought we could get through July with maybe seeing no more triple digits other than that one day that we had last week, but not looking like the case. I think today we get to 100 degrees. Tomorrow we will be at least reaching 100 degrees, if not more. Temperatures right now out the door sitting in the middle 70s, and as you just saw from that sky cam shot over downtown, the sunshine, it is back in full force today. Is going to be featuring essentially a cloud-free sky. We've got very dry air that's going to be settling in. High pressure continues to build westward, and that's going to be the trend today and tomorrow, where eventually it'll be parking itself right over central Texas. Now, notice the storm system's kind of wrapping around this. In the meantime, this is going to be blocking any kind of rain from heading our way, but also lead to this kind of drier feeling air. The heat's really been the main story across much of the eastern half of the country here, where temperatures there already sitting in the 80s from New Orleans to Atlanta, Washington, D.C. Those heat advisories and extreme heat warnings continue to blanket much of the Mississippi River Valley out through the southeast and even up through portions of the eastern seaboard. Here locally in the state of Texas, we've got a heat advisory across North Texas and the Dallas area, but notice that does not include central Texas. Thanks to the fact that we will have a drier heat today, we will not reach that heat advisory criteria. 100 degrees, it's still going to be hot, but I really don't think we're going to have much of a heat index. Our actually dew points are going to be some of the driest we've seen in a long time. So that kind of dry heat settling in, upper 90s out across the hill country as we head into tomorrow, because we continue to see that area of high pressure shift over us. That'll be the peak of the heat. Tomorrow should be the hottest day out of the week. 101 for Austin, more of us reaching the triple digits for tomorrow afternoon, including areas like Georgetown, perhaps Taylor could get very close for the Round Rock area, along with areas like Dripping Springs, San Marcos, also getting very close to those triple digit highs for tomorrow. Now, although we will be looking at eventually the triple digit high temperatures or air temperatures going away, what we are going to start to see by Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend is the return of humidity. So today, tomorrow, our temperature matches our heat index. By Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we'll actually be feeling hotter despite the fact that we'll be back down into the 90s. That humidity making it feel close to 105 degrees for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as that area of high pressure it sinks away. And then we'll be tracking a front approaching the area, leading to the return of some showers and storms, with that humidity then being funneled in from the south. So 7-day forecast, we lose the triple digits by Thursday, back down into the middle 90s we go, still feeling like the triple digits though, with the higher humidity making a comeback for the weekend, along with some spotty showers and storms.
Okay, so it's going to be that dry heat today. It is 7:49, and we do have a couple of crashes popping up. So here's kind of that slow crawl through the North Shoal Creek area. Looking better, though. You can see we've got some movement as they're ripping up the highway here. You can see all the crews out there up and at them. And this map's kind of starting to light up a little bit. So let's get into it. That is clearing up. You can kind of see, once again, southbound coming in from North Austin, approaching the Domain area, right at Palmer, stop and go. And then that crash is near Steck, and then kind of that slowdown heading southbound. Aside from that, good morning, Georgetown. We've already got a slowdown for you, about 2 miles of stop and go, kind of starting at that 29 area. If you're heading out, I know they're doing that big cleanup, which is wonderful, but for the San Gabriel River, and it's just a beautiful park out there. So we want everything to look a lot better after the flooding. We also still have 1 lane blocked on I-35 southbound at Breaker, and the good news is it's just 1 lane, but the caveat is we already had closures because of construction. So it's just already tough to get through there. Still no active crashes coming in from South Austin, so that's just your typical slow stop and go coming in. And then we do have an incident heading in from the Mendoza area on El Camino Real in those westbound lanes approaching 183.
Beloved Texas donut chain Shipley Donuts has a new owner. Peak Rock Capital announced it sold the Houston franchise to California equity firm Levine Capital Partners. The 90-year-old company is known for its made-in-store donuts, their kolaches, and coffee. The sale marks a transformation from a based, family-owned institution to a nationally recognized company. Well, in just a few hours, state lawmakers will hold another virtual hearing on redrawing Texas's congressional maps. Speaker sign-up is closed for this morning's 9 a.m. meeting. The same Senate committee heard from over 100 people yesterday. Earlier this month, the U.S. Justice Department raised concerns that 4 majority-minority districts were drawn based on race. The state disputes that, saying the maps are fair. Committee Chair Phil King says new maps will be shared once available. Well, Marble Falls will hold a memorial service for volunteer Fire Chief Michael Phillips. He disappeared on July 5th while responding to flood operations. Search teams continue to look for him, but he hasn't been found. The memorial service is 3 this afternoon at Marble Falls High School. And in just a few hours, volunteers will be teaming up with Georgetown Parks crews to help reopen San Gabriel Park. I know Hannah touched on this just briefly. The San Gabriel River flooded on July 5th, leaving behind debris and dirt. So today and Thursday, volunteers will be cleaning up the pavilions. They're going to be emptying out trash cans and wiping down the benches. You must register to volunteer. You can register at georgetowntexas.gov/parks. All right, final check of the weather.
For those cleanup efforts, it is going to be a hot one today, but thankfully a dry heat. We don't have a heat advisory in effect. We really won't see much of a heat index either today or tomorrow. Dew points will be nice and low, so it is going to be hot, but a drier heat will continue through Wednesday. That changes for the end of the week and into the weekend. As we head into the start of August, we start to see the muggies make a comeback. Temperatures come down, but our heat index will come up, and then we'll start to see the return of some showers and storms by late Thursday into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Did you say the muggies? You make it sound cute. It sounds so cute.
I know, I like the way she says things. I really do.
I've got a case of the muggies.
It's right. It's like the weather has a case of the muggies.
I love it. That's cute.
That's less scary that way.
No one likes the muggies. No one likes the muggies.
Some little muggies, that's all. Thanks so much for joining us here on Daybreak Plus. We will see y'all again tomorrow starting at 4:30 a.m.